What's up? I'm Campbell. This is my drawing YouTube channel, and this is week 8 of the Whimsical Women of the World series. You guys, I'm obsessed with the series. I've never drawn so many faces in a row. I am getting super good at markers just because I'm practicing so much by doing this series. Getting everyone involved and doing hashtag Whimsical Women on Instagram and seeing your posts in the Facebook group and on Facebook has been amazing. I'm having lots of submissions because I'm publishing a book based on this series, and I'm getting your submissions. So if you want to participate and submit your work, it's not too late. I put a link in the description box for where you can go to find out more information on how and where to submit your images. This whole thing is awesome. All right, now this is a very special lesson. It's a very special week because in the past, over the course of my teaching career at Awesome Art School and here on YouTube, I've gotten requests to do, well, there's a lot of complaints like, why are your girls never open their mouths? And there's not a lot of smiling girls. And how come you never draw teeth? And I want work on the head tilts. So today's lesson, we are killing 3 birds with 1 stone. We are doing a huge smile. Thank you very much. We are doing a weird head tilt. Thank you very much. And we are doing like 23 teeth. So I hope you get your fill. So whenever anyone asks me for here and evermore, I will have a Mac Daddy master video teaching all 3 skills in 1 lesson. But here's the deal. For everyone who's been requesting these crazy things to draw, you can't just sit back and watch the video and be like, oh, okay, now I know. Like, I watched Karen's lesson, so now I know how to draw teeth. It doesn't work like that. You have to go grab your pencil, go grab your paper, and you have to draw along with me, okay? It doesn't teach you how to draw if you're not doing it yourself. So go get a pencil, go get a piece of paper. I will wait. You pause. I will wait. And we will draw this together because it's the only true way you're going to learn how to do these things. So if you really want to know and you're going to make me do all the hard work, you got to pick up a pencil and draw along with me. All right, you ready? This is a doozy. You can do it. I got your back. Keeping it in real time. Let's go. All right, I get this request all the time, so I'm coupling this with the series, and that is how to draw a big smiling face with teeth. So all I have to say is be careful what you wish for. And there's a reason I don't draw teeth. So without further ado, let's draw some. Just like every other project, we are going to start with an oval. Now this is an amazing project because number 1, she's Italian, so dark hair, dark straight hair, dark eyes, olive skin. I actually found her under searching for Italian women. You should have seen the guy that I cropped out. He was hilarious. So also another thing I get asked to demo a lot is doing weird head tilts. So we also have that. So, and I also have drawing wrinkles. So she also has she doesn't have wrinkles per se, but she does have some like folds and laugh lines. So this covers so many bases. And then when I do it, you're going to be like, why? Why did I want to learn that? It's super weird, because it is. All right, so this time our oval is not straight up and down. This time we're making it cuckoo cricket because her face is tilted. So it's much more straightforward than you think. You just simply tilt your oval in the direction that the head is tilting. I know. This is also why you always use a reference, because coming up with this out of your imagination is like super impossible. All right, she has a squared chin. So I'm just going to put that in right off the gate. Okay, and then she has this roundy area. Very roundy on this side. And then we're coming up towards the head. Okay. And then this way, so if this is the line of her, this is the vertical. Actually, the easiest way to do it, you can even just tilt your paper. So if we were drawing straight up and down, Just orient. It's like a map, like we're reading a map. So if you don't want to hold it this way and do the crooked circle, you can just orient the paper crooked and then draw your circle straight, your oval straight. Does that make sense? So again, the eyes, I'm tilting them a little bit because she's squinting them, so they're going up at the edges. Nose is still halfway, and the mouth is lordy. Just ginormous because it's big and happy and smiling. And then to get her neck angle though, it does come down this way. And then this, it's so awkward. You're gonna be like, ugh. Now my whimsical faces, I like to draw thinner necks because big realistic necks are actually just gross and thick. So I'm actually gonna make it come in a little bit and turn this way, and then her shoulder is gonna come this way at the bottom. Okay, and then we're gonna leave out yucky guys. He's really yucky. He's really yucky. I should actually print it just to show you how yucky the guy is. Okay, now I'm just gonna actually chuck in her ear because I'm seeing right away that it's actually lower than her nose line because of the perspective, but we're not worried about perspective. We're just drawing what we see. It's just way easier to look at it like that. Hair still has volume, so you remember, if this stresses you out, you just tilt your paper. All right, it still comes down into the oval. And it still goes above the head circle as well. So if you're new to the series, I recommend going back and doing the other ones that don't have the crazy head tilts because it's much less stressful. Okay, and of course you can't see the whole, like there would be more volume if her head wasn't kicked back, but it is kicked back, so you just see, you see less of the top of her head. Oh, and this little ear is poking through, and it's about right at the lip line, and then this is just straight here down. So far so good. Okie doke. And I'm even going to bring this down even more so it is more across the, I have like 80 oval lines here. So we have this coming off and then this coming behind it. Billy, are you ready for me to help you? Okay. Just you can interrupt me. Just knock on the door when you're ready. Okay? All right, so let's do the eye circles. Remember, just the same as always. 1, 2, 3 across. It's just they're gonna be super slits instead of open because she's laughing. Now her nose, I'm gonna do like, let's see, we have kind of this, and then we have kind of, I'm gonna do 3 like wide circles for the nose. Zoom in for you. And then the mouth, oh, it's just so good. So the mouth, normally we would just do like this little oval, right? So this is so brutal, but I accidentally in the filming of this turned my microphone off. So I have to actually walk you through the entire mouth and teeth with voiceover, which is actually probably for the best because I was bitching and moaning my entire way through. So now you don't actually have to hear any of that. I feel like it was a sign, which is hilarious. So I'm going to actually just keep this in real time, which might seem painstakingly slow to me, but since you're drawing with me right now, because you're drawing with me right now, right? This should feel perfect speed. So, so you better be drawing with me right now. So I am going to do like an overall face kind of mapping with her mouth. Now, normally for the mouth, the guidelines area, I would just be having an oval here, right? But not this time because we really need to know the entire landscape of her mouth takes up like the entire southern hemisphere of her whole face. So the first thing we need to do is draw, And since you don't have a good shot of the reference next to you, then you just follow my guidelines and you follow me along my drawing. I do have all the references for all the weeks at awesomeartschool.com in the YouTube and cheat sheet library classroom. So you can go there and you can sign up and get references to all of these whimsical women. All right, so check that out. That is one massive, massive mouth. Now I'm going to be doing some erasing and adjusting. So get your erasers ready because all of this we're going to be doing together. Okay, and I'm highlighting here, there's that whole right side of her face, which is like just kind of awkward, squidgy pooginess. We have to get it all in there, guys. Like there's no workarounds to this thing. So when you're drawing realistically, and you're drawing weird head tilts and weird smiles and faces and teeth, you have to draw all of it. So you go step by step and we're going to work our way around the face, and best as we can, I have to measure that distance of that weird squoogey side part of her face. And that's what I am drawing right now. So I'm going to widen the oval and we need to extend her chin down a little bit. Okay. And then you have to draw in those smile laugh lines. They get drawn in. They're on your face. You got to draw them in. So check out where they're coming from. They're going to the nose. They bow out on either side where the creases of the upper lip and the bottom lip come together, right? And then they go back down towards the chin. So looking at my drawing, pause your computer if you need to. You can take a screenshot and then print it out. That is also very helpful. And we are just going to draw this painstaking line by line. So there's no rules when you're drawing from references. You have to, when you're going for these big, big toothy grins, you have to look at a photo there's no choice involved. It's the only way you're going to get the information you need to draw this. Now, what's super funny about this pose is that not only is her mouth distorted because she's got that huge grin, but her nose and her eyes get distorted too. So check out her nose right now. The nose nostrils are completely flattened out. There's almost no hole to draw. It's just these little bit thick lines at the end. So again, pause the video, check out that shape. You see how I made the nose? We did those circles to get us started. And then I'm just putting the parentheses on either side of the nose, and the nostrils are just dark line. That's it. It's very little to that nose. The eyes are half the size of those ovals. They are squintastic. Okay. And then she also has a little bit like cat eye makeup going on. So that exaggerates that feature. So we have the tear duct, which is elongated. Her eye is squinted, so most of the entire upper half of the iris is cut off. The whole bottom of the iris is cut off. And then it's just super duper squintyville, okay? And then the cat eye makeup on the end. And then she's getting 2 lines above for the eyelid because they're squeezed. So all those little wrinkles, people say, how do you draw wrinkles? And the answer is, you draw the wrinkles. Whatever line you see, you make a line with your pencil on your paper. It's as simple as that. But it all starts with a reference photo. So we're going to do the same eye on the left side. Okay, so it's Squinty McGee. We have the cat eye makeup on either side. Excuse me, there's someone printing in here, which is not me. So sorry for the noise. There's also the little tiny pupils are teeny tiny. She's looking into a light source or the sun. And again, we're drawing in the eyelid line. So again, pause if you need to. I'm not going to speed up this part of the video. I will only speed it up when it gets to the coloring part because I know everybody uses their own art supplies to color in. Okay, so again, the nostrils, now we're here. We're going to shore them up. I made it a little bit too wide on the right side. So I'm making flattening. That's the expression I'm making with my hands. The nose is stretched wide on either side. Now we're going to be adjusting the laugh lines, okay? And those are creases in her face. You have to draw them in. So they just connect from the nose to the sides of the mouth. And then from the sides of the mouth, they're away from the sides of the mouth. But that's where they end up lining up with. Then they connect back down to the chin, okay? So you got to draw them in. I do highly recommend you go grab the reference from my website if you can. I think it's super helpful. All right, so I'm doing some erasing. I end up making the chin quite a bit bigger because there's so much going on. So again, on the left-hand side, I need to zoom out a bit, which I haven't done, but I will. There's actually where her cheekbone from her big smile is pushing up on the flesh, like below her eye. And so that is a little bump out. And so you have to draw that as well. I'll zoom out in a second, I promise. Just bear with me. So I'm making the chin a little bit longer. There you go. Because we need to make room for all these the facial distortions that's happening. I was making fun of her eyebrows because they're super, super overplucked. Very 1990s. So that's probably when this photo was taken. This is a royalty. This is a copyright-free photo that I grabbed off of Canva. And so, yeah, so we are going to be shoring up the face right now. And again, they're not wrinkles, but they're lines. She has lines under her eye. Look at that. It curves around with the apple of the cheek from her smile. So those lines are really important that you put in there. Normally on our serious forward-facing faces, none of this stuff is drawn. So that's why we're out of practice with it. But so you kind of get what you get what you asked for with these, in that especially, I forgot that people are also requesting wrinkles a lot, but you literally just draw them in as you see them. So she has, again, these kind of laugh lines under her eyes, and they bend upwards around the cheeks. And if she was forward facing with a serious expression, you wouldn't see those lines at all, especially the way that they're curving around her cheek like that. So again, there's a lot of scooching around on this right-hand side because it really is really weird over there, right? Another reason why I always just do, when I'm doing front-facing girls, it's like you just don't have to worry about any of the weirdness. That's why I don't like to do it. So you got to draw along with me though. So here we go. On the right-hand side, we have this side of the face that's mooshed back, forced backwards by the kind of thrust of her open mouth smile. And then to make matters more fun and exciting, I have to kiss my beautiful whimsical thin neck goodbye because unfortunately we have to draw, oh yes, look at those folds. We have to draw the skin folds. And unfortunately, also, we have to draw her trachea because all of these elements that are, look how gross that looks. All of these weird folds and wrinkles are what makes the expression. So if you omit any of these things, it looks super weird and off. So this is why I don't enjoy drawing them as much, because there's a lot to contend with. And it's like, let's draw this squishy, weird, mooshy, foldy, wrinkly stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not as sexy as just doing a regular face. So there you have it. I'm being totally candid with you. But that's all right. This is a great, great lesson, and we can all learn so much from doing it. All right, so we are erasing the guidelines so we can see what the heck is going on, okay? This is my Vanish eraser. I love this eraser actually so much. And the reason I'm going to even be blabbing about this eraser is because we're going to be using it a lot when we get to her teeth. It's also super important, like when I'm teaching hands are all shading. They are literally 10% drawing and 90% shading. You can use your eraser so much in the actual drawing of the hands, and being able to pick up the right amount of graphite really makes you it just helps you. It's like a tool that you're using. It's another drawing tool that you can use to help you be successful. And so just remember that eraser because it's awesome and we're going to need it when we get to the teeth. So I don't want to get too sidetracked here because we need to get back to what's actually happening on the video, which is adjusting her chin. So as you can see, She's beautiful, girl. And she has this very sculpted chin. So I know those lines are super dark right now, but you have to put them in so that you can understand like the mechanics of what's happening with her mouth and her laugh lines, so you can form her face correctly. So their eyes were pretty easy, no big deal, just really squinty. Her nose is really stretched out, no big deal, just wide parentheses with some dark lines for the nostrils. That side of her face and her chin and her mouth are all where the craziness lives. So it takes a bit of tweaking to get it right. So as many times as it takes to adjust things, just take your time and adjust them. Okay, so her chin is like flat across the bottom, and it's very wide to make room for this beautiful, enormous set of chompers that she has. Okay, so again, we have all these weird folds going on the right-hand side. So now I'm focusing on getting the proportions of the laugh lines correct, but also making sure that her chin and all the proportions of her lower part of her face are right. So the reason that eraser is so awesome is that it's so soft that all you can actually like tap. You can tap the paper and it will lift the graphite straight up. So either with most erasers, either it doesn't lift enough of the graphite and you lift with this really harsh ghost line, or well, yeah, that's really the only problem. I've never had an eraser that worked as well as the Spanish eraser. And the Spanish eraser, you can control the amount that you can pick up by pouncing or bouncing on top of your graphite lines, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So highly recommend. I actually sell them with my Jerry's Artorama Fun Fab drawing kit that I sell through Jerry's Artorama. You can also buy them individually at Jerry's Artorama for like $2, and they're about $7 on Amazon, which is such a screw, but I'm just letting you know where you can buy them. I can't really say enough good things about the Vanish eraser. All right, moving on. We are defining the mouth at this point. Okay, so go slow and steady. That's just what we got to do. So again, usually the top of a lip is like a letter V, right? But look how flattened out the top of the lip is. And it's almost as wide as the whole bottom of her flattened out nose. Now, you can see there, that's a straight line. That's the bottom of her lip. And it's straight across, and then it gets super tiny on either side. So again, pause the video right here or take a screenshot and then follow along. So on the right hand side, you can see where the upper lip and the bottom lip come together. It is like, it gets a little crazy in there. So I'm zooming in for you. So there's the gum, there's the side of the lips that get stretched, and now we're doing the bottom lip. And very soon we have those teeth that everyone is so excited about. But before we draw the teeth, it's good to estimate where the gum line is. Okay, so we're going to sketch in the gum line so that we know how much gum is showing, and then we can try to figure out how long the teeth have to be. So this whole exercise, oh yes, let's draw the weird gums on either side. It's just like this gobbledygook. I'm pretty much laughing my ass off the entire time during the teeth part too, because it's not fun. It's why I don't draw them. So we have to sketch in the gum line first. So you see a lot of her gums. So you have to draw a lot of her gums. So that's what we're aiming to do now. So as you can see, it's good to it's a great way to do it step by step, but yes, just follow me and draw the lines. So we have the gum line is kind of parallel to the top upper lip. All right, so it is teeth drawing time, you guys. Get ready. You just got to go line by line. Take a screenshot here if you like, so you can really get a good shot of those teeth, and then follow me. So we're going to start with her front teeth, and there's really nothing you can do but just draw them in. So you can always shorten them up if they're too long, but if you see first, I put in how long they're going to go first, and then I'm joining up to that. So here we go, line by line. They're going up into the gums, all of them do. So that first straight horizontal line goes in, but just know all the teeth rounded top part, you're going up into them. And just like that, we got two front buck teeth like Bugs Bunny. Oh, it's just so good. It's just so good. I know I'm dying laughing right now because how can you not? I even stopped to take a picture. It's hilarious. So you're going to need a little eraser to like weasel in out all those, that horizontal gum line, but just don't worry about it. Just keep drawing and then we can erase later at the end. Also, don't use a super thick pencil like me. I had to switch. I was using a 0.9 lead, which is ridiculous. So you want to really use a thin one. This is 0.3, which is much more appropriate for drawing teeth. All right, so using my 0.3, and the reason is that you don't want to see giant pencil marks. You don't want to see like, these are teeth. You don't see any dark outlines around anybody's teeth unless they have a lot of yucky things in their teeth. So you want to make your teeth lines really, really light. So I'm literally going tooth by tooth and trying to look at the picture and make sure I'm recreating that correctly on my paper. So the second teeth, the incisor to the right, is much shorter than the front tooth, and it's got a craggly bottom, right? The next one is the canine. That one's short as well. Some people have really long ones. And again, teeth are not straight across the bottom. So make sure the bottoms of all your teeth are nice and craggly and crooked. There should not be straight across, except if your reference photo person has them that are straight across, like the front teeth are. Now, as you notice, I need to actually widen her mouth again because you can see all the way back to her back rear molar. Like, it's crazy town. So if you have to make her mouth wider to fit the teeth, that's what you got to do. So that's exactly what I had to do. So erasing all the little gum lines that I had drawn, and then you have to kind of like pop the tops of them back in. But if you notice, the top and the bottom, nothing is straight. Everything is craggly and scraggly, and some of the teeth, you can even see the far side of the tooth, which you have to put in later. First things first, let's just draw them in. Also notice, as you go from the front to the rear of the mouth, her teeth are angled. So, but if you put that gum line in first, it's easy to just follow that gum line. Her teeth also get smaller as you go back. Even her big rear molar is smaller because it's farther away from the camera. And as you can see, I'm taking a minute and kind of fine tune. Look how big that back molar is. It is a big tooth. It's wide, but it's far away. Also, when we go to color these, look at that camera work. Damn, I'm good. When you go to color these, the teeth are not white either. They are colored. Nothing is as white as the paper, with maybe the exception of the eye shine, but that's about it. So that's a big mistake that people make, is they make these like pearly, like blindingly white teeth, and nobody's teeth except like Hollywood movie stars' teeth are really that white. So here we go. Check out the weirdness that's happening with her gums. There's kind of like gobbledygook back where her gums meet the side of her mouth. Same thing on the other side. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 7 teeth down and we have like 18 to go. Strap yourself in and get ready for the tooth ride. All right, where are we? We're on the left-hand side. You notice too, there's like, counting all the teeth, there's like triangles of gum between each tooth. So just make sure, you'll figure that out when you erase that horizontal gum line. You can see, but thanks to my super zoom camera, you can see right here that triangle of gums between the teeth. And honestly, you can just draw right along with me. So we have 1, and as we get further back, they get smaller. And don't forget the craggly top and the craggly bottom. This is just classic learning how to draw what you see. So the more exercises you do like this, it really hones your observational skills, and that is what makes you a great artist. So as much as I'm bitching and moaning about this exercise, it's really good for all of us, myself totally included, to do things that are super hard ever so often, because it just makes us improve. So you have to take everything that I always say with a grain of salt. You know, that's just my sense of humor. I just like bitching about things. It's just fun. All right. So this gets crazy on this side where the left-hand side of the gum is. So just bear with me and follow along as best as you can, because you're totally drawing right now. Admit it, you're drawing. Please be drawing. Don't make me draw alone. All right, here's that last molar. Again, it's kind of big. It's not as big as the right-hand side one. And then it gets really gobbledygooky in that corner. So check this out. The upper lip connects to that weird squiggle line. Look how stretched out those upper lips are. It's crazy. Okay, then you have, we got to get rid of the left lower side because it's like, hang on, we got to figure this weird thing out first. So we have weird gum stuff. Weird gum. Come on, Karen. Put the weird gum in. Oh, it's like, what is this? What are we drawing? It's weird. It's like a weird, weird squiggly. Like, how do you draw this? It's so weird. All right, whatever it is, it becomes dark and gray later on, so we don't really have to worry. But it's kind of like I'm finding my way around her mouth with my pencil. That sounds perverted, but like that's kind of what I'm doing. That's why it's all about like observation skills and first and drawing skills second. Because you're really trying to figure out what the heck you're seeing. Like, what are you looking at before you can figure out how to draw it? Two skills that are equally important that have to come together to draw successfully. So this is an ultimate example. Now, you can see between the bottom teeth better than you can see between the top teeth. They're darker. So if you notice, you're not starting in the middle. That's another thing. People make teeth too perfect. Teeth are not perfect. They're crooked. They're scraggly, raggly edges. They're a hot mess. So each one has to be dealt with like individually and carefully. And it's a pain in the butt. So you have to just go super slowly. And every tooth, you have to go, okay, where is this in relation to the tooth next to it? Where is this relation to the tooth above or below it, right? What's the spacing between the teeth? All of that stuff is things that you're observing with your eyes, and then you're trying to just regurgitate that so to the best of your ability onto your paper. Do you see why I don't draw teeth? It's a lot of work. So there's the back tooth. That's the back of the tooth I just drew from the one above it. Okay. And then you have to match it up to the mystery gum substance that's hanging out over on the right. Now my bottom lip is too wrong. So we have to fix it. So again, these are whimsical faces. So you could just alter these if you want to make them more even or more perfect or whatever. But it's like, we've gone this far. We might as well just try to knock it out of the park. All right. If you notice too, look at how, or like her front teeth are not centered over her bottom teeth, right? They're off alignment. And that's probably super normal for like every human. So, and again, another mistake a lot of people make is they just make the teeth are just too perfect and they're all lining up and they just do like straight lines between each one. But they are so much more than that. They're very complicated. Here's the pouncing for the eraser that I was telling you about. Okay, so it lifts up enough and it makes like the graphite just really light. So it's not dark and you're not just seeing like teeth when you back out the camera, and you just see the graphite is uniform and it's lightly sketched in. That's all that you want to see. So I'm obviously having a lot of trouble with the spacing with the bottom teeth, because when you're drawing individual teeth by teeth, I can't talk. It matters, right? You have to draw every single teeth, and if you're off one, it's going to make all of them off. So it's really, unfortunately, important that you get the placement of every single tooth and in relation to all the other teeth. So this upper tooth has to be longer than what I had it. Again, secretly so glad that my camera is off, because I'm like dying teaching this. All right, so here's another one. And even look how poker ramrod straight the bottom row is. It looks fake and weird when they're too even. So now we get more realistic because we're kind of getting wonky and things are they're getting tilted in the back. They look like funny headstones in a cemetery, don't they? That's all I can see. Maybe because Halloween is in 2 days. All right, so now, finally we have those roughed in and we can finally finish the outlines of the mouth, right? We don't even have the lips in yet. So we can finally, and look how just funny it is. It's like a cartoon character, but that's really what her mouth looks like. So we need to stretch that bottom lip, stretching that top lip, and we can finally fine tune the outlines of everything. Erase the guidelines that we drew like 3 hours ago. Finally start fine-tuning the drawing portion of the drawing. Now her nose was too wide still, so I'm just bringing it in. So it's like you get so it focused on every single last detail that you might as well just be like, well, we're here. We might as well super psychoanalyze the nose, right? And then you do the same thing for the eyes. So I try not to get too lost and caught up in all the minutia, but I mean, you really kind of have no choice when you're doing teeth because that's all they are. And if you get the teeth wrong, then they'll just look crazy. All right, so just fine tuning the nose. It was a little too stretched out, so just making these really obnoxious, fine-tuned little tweaks. Her right nostril now apparently is higher than her left one. I don't know. I'm just drawing what I see. That laugh line becomes super important. And then I'm going to use my pounce eraser to kind of lift the unnecessary lines and we'll get rid of the unnecessary lines and then lift the overall lines that are too dark. So you can see every time you see me tapping, so when I'm rubbing it, I'm getting rid of it altogether. And when you see me pouncing it, that's when I want the outlines, especially of the teeth, to stay, but I just want them to be light. I don't want to see like every tooth outlined in a hard outline that looks super yucky. So just be aware of that. This still needs some love and approximation as we get over here. This whole side area is just like, ew. All right, but we are gonna get going with some markers or use whatever your favorite art supply is. You do not have to use markers. And we are gonna get going and coloring her in. There's even skin back here. I feel like, again, like she wouldn't want us to draw that. She's probably like, please do not draw that. Then you also have her like trachea hanging out here. It's just so many things I don't want to draw. I don't want to draw her trachea. Do you? All right. I still feel like her chin is even bigger than I am drawing it. And this line has to come. Now remember, it's whimsical, so like we don't actually have to be like super perfect in any way. But her chin really, it does come down like a ton. So kind of do like it when it matches the reference a little bit. So if we're gonna do that, we're gonna come down here, then the chin is even further down. Let's get rid of her beard. Further down, chin, there we go. And then yes, it's just like face for days over here. I think that is better. And then there's another like weird stress line here. Lord. That's a smile. Ew, look how gross she is with all these things. All right, this is just gonna have to be done with like shading and stuff. All right, I'm ready to shade her. You guys ready? I am ready. Just make sure I have all this fun stuff over here drawn correctly. Yep. Why can't I like commit to making her chin larger? I keep saying I want to do it and then redrawing it, and then it still is the same size when I'm done. And we don't want this big chunk there, but there is a bit of a situation happening there with this and the shading. And oh, yep, see, and there's like another line there that kind of leans down to it. I'm getting super futzy, which I hate. I hate being futzy, actually. And I think that's why I hate teeth. I just like the general, you know, beauty. You want to go out, Maggie? You want to go out? You can go out. But just trying to get this like segue over here correct. Just bothering me. Just the side. It's so weird. This whole thing is weird. And then this is also like kind of pulled up, right? Yes. Not in a good way. And then this whole thing is like her chin. All right, I think that's like as good as we're gonna get. Tap back any lines. Oh, I'm ready for some markers. I'm ready to get her some color. Let me just make sure her eyes stuff is good. Good. Crazy eyelashes and things. Crazy eyelashes and things over here. And there. And her weird tear ducty thingies. So when you put markers over the pencils, you can no longer erase. So you kind of need to make sure you're good to go before you start your marker work. If you're using markers, although that's like true for a lot of things, even like watercolors. Once you introduce them, you can't erase underneath it. Yeah, these are, I was like looking to see if, oh, and look at all these guidelines are still in her hair. All right, now I need to color swatch and have a stiff drink, and then I'm ready for the rest of this. Kidding, not kidding, kidding, not kidding, kidding. Am I kidding? You don't want, because they will spread into your piece if you're not careful. It's kind of dirty from all my erasing over here. Yeah, this is a big face. It's covering like the whole sheet. So I think I'm gonna actually do chisel, which I never do or very rarely do. So if you made it this far, oh, congratulations. Now you can color however your heart desires. I am obsessed lately with alcohol markers. They just show up really, really well for book publication. So I've done a bunch of books with just using markers because it just shows up well, it scans well, but I just love them. They're not easy. There is a learning curve to them. I teach them. I actually have a few Copic tutorials here on my YouTube channel, and I teach them the real breakdown of them in my drawing club. And actually, if you want all of the real-time lessons for all of these girls in this series, or if you're already a member and you weren't aware, actually you have a classroom within the Fun Fab Drawing Club at Awesome Art School that has the real-time, everything is real-time and unedited over there. So I only have membership. My membership only opens twice a year because onboarding new students is a really big job. And so I just actually closed registration in September. So I'll be opening it up again in the spring. But in the description box, you can find a link that you can put your name on the wait list if you would like to. But also for current Fun Fab Drawing Club students, the real-time tutorials for the drawing parts, the coloring parts are on there too. But I also want to be able to make this coloring portion, at least the watching of it, available to everyone, because you can see the full process here on YouTube, so you understand the importance of the layering, and you can just see for yourself all the number of layers that I'm putting down for each of these girls, and it's quite extensive, but you can get a really good idea from watching all the demos every week. The importance of blending and doing the horizontal and vertical blending of all the colors helps mirror them together. You learn where to put the shading and why to put the shading. So hopefully that is benefiting everyone here on YouTube as well. And the process that I'm using to create this girl is the same that I'm using for all the girls, which is that you can either go light to dark for faces, or you can go dark to light. So you just need to kind of commit to one and figure out which one you're going to do. When I'm doing Caucasian girls or really light skinned girls, I like to do light to dark. So I start off with my lightest colors first, and then I gradually and carefully and slowly add darker areas and darker colors and shades and values into the shadowy areas, always using my reference to indicate to me where to put those, so I never guess. All that information is there. And then with darker skin girls, I generally do the darkest areas first, and then I go lighter. I don't know why I do that. I just do it. It just seems to work out well. You can tell too, you're probably noticing that the teeth are not white. So I'm using different shades of off-white to make the ones farther away, meaning the teeth farther away, darker, and then the ones in the front, I end up using a white paint pen at the end to kind of draw some highlights on them. You can't actually see it when it's all said and done, but you'll notice that they are, pearly white. They end up being pearly white, but only in the front. And all the little details still have to be done with the teeth in terms of outlining the ones, so the ones that you can see in between, putting black in the spaces of that are in the, recesses of her mouth. There's different colors to the gums, using the different markers and then colored pencils to create the depth. And then you have the gray shading in the shadows, and holy majoli, so much work. But hopefully this whole tutorial, it really shows you exactly how to draw this very face from scratch. So hopefully you've gotten a ton out of this tutorial. If you did, or you still have questions, I would love to hear from you in the comment section. I read every single comment and respond. So yeah, and if you have any other requests, feel free to pop those in. But again, only if you're going to draw along with me, because I don't like drawing by myself. But again, just in this I would say episode, along with the others, you can see how I use colored pencils to augment or complement the pieces as well. And you can also see the hair is just the same exact way that I did the hair on the Sweet Scandinavian from last week, when we do the darker values from root to tip, and then we leave the highlighted swath kind of in the middle. Just kind of breaks it up. It makes it look, I wouldn't say realistic, but at least it makes it look dimensional, which is cool and not flat. And so hopefully week after week you're watching this whole series and just having little takeaways here and there. I really hope that you do. I put so much time and energy into picking out the references, filming and editing, and having the full real-time versions for my students at Awesome Art School, and they have the edited down versions for YouTube, but trying to keep enough here on YouTube that you can get tons and tons of value out of it as well. So it's just, nobody would watch like a 2-hour tutorial on YouTube. It just doesn't happen. So plus I gotta give my members who are paying me something extra juicy to sink their big white pearly teeth into, and that's give them lots of value. But they are actually getting lessons in addition to these weekly lessons on YouTube. They're getting separate lessons that are not found anywhere else. Same with my Mixed Media Society. And if you didn't know, I have a mixed media channel as well, where we do only mixed media projects, and I have a Mixed Media Society at Awesome Art School as well. well. So lots and lots of goodness, all about art, all online and all super fun, especially during this yucky COVID time. But I hope you are all doing well. I'm going to put some music on so you can enjoy the rest to see where the highlights and shadows go. And then I have a little surprise at the very end of this video. So stay to the end and you'll get a little treat for hanging in there.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars. Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope. Fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream away. Standing on a field with you and flowers everywhere. Maybe there is a star with your name. One thing I know is that there should be. There is no one who has a heart as pure, no, not like yours. Dreaming of you.
Maggie, you know what we're going to teach everyone today?
Dreaming of you.
What are we going to talk about?
Dreaming of you.
Here's a hint.
Dreaming of you.
That's right.
Dreaming of you.
We're learning to
Dreaming
draw.
of you. I'm
You
dreaming
ask,
of you.
deliver. Watch out.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love?